Hey, nice job. We did that at the end just to so you could feel the tension moving. So I hope you had intent and you could understand how to bridge the gap between bracing from the ground, quadruped, planking, all this stuff, into actual transit movement, okay? To give you kind of the forecasting of where we're going, there's two aspects of training that you have to understand are highly important: strength and explosiveness. All strength exercises are bracing exercises where you're trying to not extend, okay? Planks, certainly, but then squats, bench presses, anything that you can load really heavy and move slowly, right? Think of if you have a heavy weight, at some point, you're just not gonna move it very fast. And then the other side is all explosive exercises. So here's the gist, right? When you do an explosive exercise, you typically have some level of triple extension, right? If I'm doing a clean or a jump, a better example, right? I'm here, I'm extending ankle, knee, hip, and back to create explosion. So there's explosive force, and then there's implosive force. If you don't have implosive force, then you're not in a position to create explosive force, right? If you were to draw this on a number line, then if you're already extended, you're trying to extend from like a 6 to a 10. If you improve the bracing, now you can extend from a 0 to a 10. Does that make sense? You get more time. And time is one of your opponents. We'll talk about it next week. So the reason that we're going over this stuff is so that you can learn and be efficient in the process of bracing and holding that, so that when you go to try to extend and be explosive, then you have more time and more power that you have available to create. All right? So that's the idea on that. So before we started the workout, we just talked about the progression of kind of the philosophy that we're trying to implement, okay? And we know that we have to win now, right? Turn win into one. We also know that it's our systems that create our outcomes, and in order to be great, we have to prepare those systems to give us the outcomes that we want, all right? So now we have the knowledge and we're at a crossroads. We're at a point where you have to make a choice, because you know what happens if you go right, you know what happens if you go left, all right? Now, there are two aspects to make that decision easier. You've been in these situations already. You've got to do one thing first: ditch the loser. Ditch the loser within yourself, okay? You got to turn don't into won't, okay? So it's not that I don't drink, it's just that I won't drink, all right? It's not that I don't go to parties or stay up all night playing Call of Duty. It's just that I won't do that. You play Call of Duty sometimes. It's just that you won't do that, okay? Listen, moderation, right? So you got to change don't into won't, because that's a cognitive decision that you have to make in order to reach your ultimate goals. And then the second thing is to change do into you. You might be a person who does athletic things, but are you an athlete? Identify with it. You might be a person who studies and takes tests. Are you a student? Okay? Change your identity in order to optimize the systems, in order to optimize the goals. You might be a person who shows up at the games and competes and hopes to win, but are you a winner? Do you do what winners do? Day in, day out, intent and consistency.